Hi, PlayStation. I don't know what's going on with y'all, but I'm just gonna take things back in time for a second. Do you remember when this happened? Do you remember years ago? How long ago was this article on Forbes? This was 6 years ago. And this is, I believe, the quote that people were like flipping out over. Sony's head of global sales, Jim Ryan, famously told Time, "When we've dabbled with backwards compatibility, I can say it is one of those features that is much requested, but not actually used much. That, and I was at a Gran Turismo event where they had PS1, PS2, PS3, and PS4 games, and the PS1 and PS2 games, they looked ancient. Like, why would anybody play this?" Let me just get closer to the camera here for a second. Remember that quote? Remember when everybody was freaking out and people were saying, "Oh man, Jim Ryan just said, who wants to play old games?" Remember that shit? Yeah, that was going on for a while. It's still going on to this day because of the state that you guys are currently in. And then sometime later, he had to correct what he said. And this is what he said when he had to correct himself. The point I was trying to make, obviously not very well, was just how great the PS4 version looked and how far the series had evolved. He told Axios Gaming, as reported by VGC, "I certainly wasn't trying to be disrespectful of our heritage. I guess my big learning from all of this is that when Kazunori Yamauchi unveils the next Gran Turismo side by side with its history, that I will keep my mouth shut." Okay, so he went back on what he said and he was like, "Oh, I didn't mean to say who's gonna care about old games. No one cares about old games, right?" Like, that's not what he meant. But now we look at PlayStation today. And it really does seem like you guys don't care about any of your old IPs, because there's this other quote here too. There's this other shit over here, which makes me go, okay, guys, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I got an IGN article right here talking about this. "Sony doesn't have enough original franchises built from the ground up," executive says. Do you remember this? Does anybody remember this happening? This was something that was said. Sony Chief Financial Officer Hiroki Totoki doesn't think that the media giant has enough franchises that it has fostered from the beginning, calling it an issue for the company as it seeks to rival its competitors in the space. "Whether it's for games, films, or anime, we don't have that much IP that we fostered from the beginning." Huh? Are you serious? You can't be serious, right? This was back in September. I'm sure some of you know what this quote is. I'm sure a lot more of you now know about this quote too that follow PlayStation news. You gotta be fucking with me, right? Like, there's no part of that was a long time ago. Some of your executives were saying some dumb shit. Jim Ryan's not there anymore, right? So like he left before all of this is shit hitting the fan. Like, it's typical bullshit, like typical CEO corporate bullshit, right? Right before everything gets really bad, you leave, and then somebody else takes your place, and then it gets worse because now you're trying to fix whatever is happening, whatever had happened in one era of PlayStation. It's really fucking shitty. But we're not done, okay? Like, we're not done. I don't even know if some of y'all know what your customers want, what the consumer wants in gaming. It's not hard. I need to talk about this other thing that you did where you I don't know, you canceled the one multiplayer game that would have made you so much money had you actually gone through with it, but you decided to cancel that and give us the shittiest multiplayer game to ever exist in the history of gaming. I have never seen anything like Concord happen in my entire life. I don't think that's the last time I'm gonna see something like this happen, but wow, it didn't even last a week. This right here, do you remember this? Do you remember this? 3+ years of waiting for this. Okay, when The Last of Us Online got canceled, this is the part of the article right here that made me go, couldn't they have just gotten a whole other team for this? Couldn't Sony have found another team specifically for the online for this? In ramping up to full production, the massive scope of our ambition became clear. To release and support The Last of Us Online, we'd have to put all our studio resources behind supporting post-launch content for years to come, severely impacting development on future single-player games. So we had two paths in front of us: become a solely live service game studio, or continue to focus on single-player narrative games that have defined Naughty Dog's heritage. What in the mother of God? What God? God. Seriously, God. Are you sure? What's happening? I got questions, bro. I got questions about this. There's no way, right? Well, we know what they decided to do. Intergalactic, right? I mean, I don't really mind Intergalactic so far because I don't know what the gameplay looks like. I'm not going to go all in and judge this shit yet because I know what the internet thinks about this game. I'm not going to do it. Sony, you don't think you could have hired an entire team to work on this part of The Last of Us so that way they could actually have two separate divisions of Naughty Dog, like maybe one that works on the live service and one that works on single player games? You don't think that could have been a thing? Oh no, because like lately people have just been getting fired left and right, like let go, studio shut down and shit. So you figure, nah, fuck it, it's too much money. It's too much money to put into, right? It's too much money to put into. But then you know the game that you released that failed in a week, Concord, that you put a lot of money into, that was a live service game, by the way. Like, I don't know if you guys fucking forgot, because I think executives don't even know what the fuck they're doing. They're just writing shit down and going like, oh, fuck it, look. I don't know what's in this job, but like I could only imagine. The final thing I gotta mention here is Concord, right? Because there's no way that this is, how is this even acceptable, right? All right, I got Concord up here, right? Okay, let's do something funny. How long was this game alive? 2 weeks after its launch, with all sold copies refunded. Do you know how like dumb as shit this is? How much money was spent on this game? Concord cost 400 million. I heard 200 million. I heard 400 million. I'm guessing it's 400 million, right? Because of course it has to be the worst. Has to be the worst option, right? Oh man. I could only imagine how much money y'all wasted on this. What are you guys doing? This is kind of common sense, right? Just a little bit of common sense. I don't know how all the money works and shit. Just because one game, Overwatch, let's take Overwatch for a second. Just because that game is doing everything right at the time it was, way back when it was out, you know, when it first released, the first game, not the second game, the first game. Just because Overwatch was popular at a specific point in time doesn't mean you can just make your own Overwatch and then suddenly money. That's not how that fucking works. You actually have to make a game that people are gonna like. Did I say something wrong there, right? You have to actually enjoy the game and then you want to spend money on the game. Did I say something completely foreign? Sometimes I feel like saying stuff like that is some kind of foreign language. It just doesn't fucking translate. I don't really need to talk about how Overwatch has like shit the bed several times over and over again. And now everybody's playing Marvel Rivals because, let's be real, that game is just 20 times better. All right, Sony, PlayStation, I'm gonna help you guys out real quick. And I'm gonna go back to that quote from Hiroki Totoki, okay? I'm gonna go back to that quote when he said that there was no IPs that you guys had to take from to make new games. Let's do a Google search, shall we? Wow, this is fucked up, man. How the hell did we get here? How the hell did this company, how the hell are they this dumb? Like, I don't know what. Google search. This one's gonna be good. Let's see. What do I type here? Oh, I know. What IP does Sony own? There we go. Oh, yes. Oh, beautiful. Oh, god damn. Ah, shit. I got allergic to bullshit for a second there. That was crazy. These are all the franchises you own. Take a good look. You see that? You know what's even funnier and pretty sad as well? This is a simple Google search away. This took me like 2 minutes. All this shit about we have to make live service games now because what, one game was successful? What the fuck? You guys were so focused on live service games that you forgot about like actually making single player games, which is the one thing that we know you guys are capable of doing. And then you said, but fuck that, let's make live service games anyway. How's that going for you? That's crazy. This was a simple Google search, and I found all the IP that you guys have. That's wild. I feel it's appropriate that we ended here. How many live service games have Sony canceled? You see that? Look at that. Let's zoom in on that shit. Over 10. They said there was gonna be 12, right? There's only 2 left. One of them should have been The Last of Us. I'm just saying, once again, I'm never letting y'all live that shit down. There's no way. I think the entirety of the Sony PlayStation fan base should be letting you know that that was the stupidest shit you've ever done, is canceling The Last of Us faction. Or better yet, let me take it a step further. For you real quick. Y'all should have never, I don't know, made the decision to take it out of The Last of Us 2 to begin with. It was an easy win. You could have added DLC to that like you did in the last game. Do I have to remind you guys of The Last of Us Remastered, where you added in an update for factions where you added cosmetics, you added new guns, and then you added, for the fuck of it, you added new animations for executions. Y'all didn't have to go that crazy with that. Y'all didn't have to do that. You breathed new life into that game, and people continue to play it for extra 5 to 7 years or something like that. You know what's funny? You treat all of those customers like shit. It's sad, but also kind of funny. Because if it wasn't for those people, you guys wouldn't be getting the money that you have, but you keep treating them like garbage. Remember Concord? Hello, Concord just happened. Hi, that was a game that just happened that you put all that money into and it failed immediately. Why? Because you tried to make live service games and you guys do not know how to make those. The only other time you did it was Destiny. I don't really count that because Destiny is fucking dead as far as I'm concerned. The first one was good, the second one, I don't know what the fuck y'all were doing. Like, I tried with Destiny. The sad thing is, I don't think you guys are ever going to learn from any of the mistakes that you've made. Maybe some of us PlayStation fans or ex-PlayStation fans as of recently, right? Because of all these decisions you made, maybe we're all just in denial and we're, in the back of our minds, we're thinking, they'll turn around eventually, right? You know, they'll release something really good and they'll just go right back on track. I think the saddest part about all of this is that you guys aren't going to learn anything. All right, you're going to continue to treat your customers like garbage. You're going to continue to talk about how well you're doing in the console market. Ooh, no one can touch us. We're fucking Sony. Yeah, like just fucking 30th anniversary over here. PlayStation Portal, fucking dumbass. What is this thing? What the fuck is that? What is that? You know people wanted the PlayStation Portable. You know people wanted, I don't know, the PlayStation Vita. Come on, you're so far gone, I think, at this point, but part of me still wishes that you somehow turn it the fuck around and realize we can't keep doing this live service shit. We can't keep treating our customers like absolute garbage. We have to give them what they want. Otherwise, we're eventually going to die. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you will turn around. Maybe not, though. If that's the case, then it's been fun. I mean, not in the past 5 years or so, but before that, it was fun. Hey, but that's it for the video. If you enjoyed what I had to say, give it a thumbs up, comment down below, tell me what you think about Sony and PlayStation right now. Like, where do you think they're headed? Is it good? Is it bad? Are they gonna learn? Who knows, right? And subscribe to the channel if you're new. That'd be great. Take care of yourselves. See you next time.